Good morning, everyone. Tom, there it goes. Beautiful. Technology, love it. Hey, everyone, this is the part of the day where we tell you we're going to solve all your world's problems in 15 minutes. Not going to happen. We're renegades. We just want to give you some incremental step to move forward. I'm moving quickly through this today because, Tom, I need your help. And that's Tom Brush. I'm Bob Graham. This is the Ring of Renegades. This is Ring of Renegades. Today's Antidote. Whew.
Struggling this morning.
I am. I did not sleep well. Plus, I pledged to be on the spot today, and that's awkward always. But I'm gonna power through it. Tom, I want your help. I had a list of 5 objectives or goals to accomplish this week that I shared in the group, and I have only achieved 2 of them. A third one will occur tonight at 8 p.m. when we have our summer success soiree, a party with a business purpose, and that's at 8 p.m. Eastern today. And you can find out more about that from Tom or me, or you can look at the Ring of Renegades, and that's coming up this afternoon. Got that under control, but I'm frustrated because I have 5 goals and I've only achieved 2, the third one tonight, and I don't want to be the guy that doesn't achieve them. So I'm hoping that we can do some real coaching here and show people what accountability looks like, show them how we work together to achieve these things. And what's great is you and I do this all the time. Actually, you do this to help me all the time. I don't know that I ever do this to help you.
Well, that's not true. But So I think it's a great way to stay on top of things. And I think, it's interesting. We're talking in a week about self-doubt. And I think one of the biggest challenges is that when you set out to do something intentionally, whether it's a goal, something else that you've decided, this is what I'm going to do, and you don't feel like you're making enough progress towards it, what's the first thing that climbs in is self-doubt. You start to wonder about it. And so I think, we do this all the time because I think we come from a place where we want the other to be successful. And I think we have that understanding. And so I think what's interesting is that typically if Bob and I were doing this, I would not hold back pretty much. But if I was doing it with someone that I wasn't as familiar with, one of the first things I would do is say, Bob, is that all right if I might ask you some tough questions? Is that okay?
Yeah. We just go at it. You're right. That's a good point. That's probably good to point out at the beginning, but let's get to it because, hey, you know what this program is really all about, Tom, is me helping myself and you just being along for the ride and all those other people. So let's get to it.
All right. Awesome. So, all right. Why are you feeling? So here's what's interesting in your statement. You said you have 5 goals. And you're almost done with 3 of them. So 60% of the way done. Why is that such a negative?
Well, because yesterday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I had 0. And I literally spent my afternoon playing catch up because I knew we were going to do this today. And I don't think I can do this every week and get to Wednesday afternoon and do it because Thursday morning we're going to do stuff.
Why not?
Although that'd be a really good strategy. Yeah. Thursday morning is Bob's accountability moment.
It's interesting that you say that because I think sometimes that's what's maybe the most important thing is if we know we have a deadline, you set a deadline for yourself. You're like, I'm not getting on the show tomorrow being like having none of them done because that would really. And so that became a motivating moment, right?
Yes, motivating 4.5 hours.
Okay, that was what it took. And are you okay with that?
It's not a winning strategy going forward.
Why do you say that?
Because it doesn't feel right. Someone's asking, am I a procrastinator? Would you say I'm a procrastinator?
No, I wouldn't. I would say that you take on more than you can sometimes handle.
I would, yes.
So I would potentially ask, why did you come up with 5 goals for this week?
Someone's saying this is hilarious. If only they knew this is who's that?
Don Hanson. He's having a good time at your
at my expense.
Yeah.
If only I could tell stories about John and some of the fun he's having this week.
Don't reflect. We need to stay on task here.
Okay, what's that? I
So,
lost you.
Why did you pick 5 goals for this week?
I picked 5 because the task was 3 to 5, and like a chronic overachiever, I want to go to the high end.
Okay. Why is that?
Because I believe I should set a standard and a model.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. So if that's your goal, your ultimate goal, like to me, it always goes back to why. So why did you want to pick 5? And why did you pick those 5?
I weeded out about 15 to get to that 5.
How did you do that?
I wrote a list, and then I chose the 5 that that fit most with what I was trying to do.
Okay. All right. So they had a priority for you, right?
They had a priority for things I was doing.
Okay.
And there's a difference. Some of the other 10, a few of those had a higher priority for me personally, but almost all the goals I had were focused on this group and the things we're doing together, because that's where my attention needs to be. And I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying that's a reality.
That's an interesting, if we had a whole lot of time, I could go down that route of why you think that not doing something, a personal goal, is as important as your professional goal.
Okay. This is really awkward.
I'm having fun. Come on.
I was going to say, I could tell you're enjoying this.
Well, here's the thing about
the level of openness I show on this program is, I really feel like a TV network needs me. John says, need a mower. No, I've got a lovely mower now.
Yes. No, so honestly, I mean, I think that's one of the things. This is a perfect challenge that I think we all deal with, is we get so wrapped up in one piece of our life that we forget about other important goals that sometimes have a great impact on the other piece of it. I almost wonder if the fact that you weren't as focused on your personal goals and what that brings, that it was harder to achieve your professional goals.
One thing I would say I am struggling with is the fact that I feel like I live in 2 worlds, personal world and professional world. And they bump up against each other. And I feel bad about it, especially with you. Like the other day I told you I had to take care of some personal stuff, and I felt guilty about that because we're trying to do things.
Okay.
And it's not like you ever say, "Hey, you're an idiot. How dare you go help your mother? How dare you deal with your nieces and nephews?" Or, how dare you go have fun? But I always feel guilty about that. God,
So
this has become a therapy session. Someone said awkward. Tell me about it. I don't know who that is, but I certainly feel the awkward.
He's having fun with this. Well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been to a symphony?
I have been to a symphony.
Okay. At a symphony, who has the biggest role?
I hope it's the conductor, because they're dancing around the whole time.
Maybe. But do the roles change?
You mean during that presentation?
Yeah, or during a piece.
No.
They don't change?
Well, people do. Yes, people do different things, and it comes and goes. Yes. The collective is what leads to the beautiful music.
Interesting.
I saw it coming.
And sometimes the strings don't play, correct?
Correct.
And other times the timpani and the drums, they're going all out.
Tom Brush, symphony expert, timpanis. Wow.
I was involved in a whole conversation about this yesterday.
Okay.
People try to, we use the phrase work-life balance, right? And
Yes.
I think this is one of the things we're talking about. Well, I find that that's almost impossible. There's no such thing as work-life balance. And I think we talked about this maybe a week or so ago about harmony.
Right.
And it came crystal clear because I shared that with someone else. We were talking about they were struggling with work-life balance. And I said, well, somebody shared with me a phrase, a good friend of mine, Matt Colson, shared with me that he likes to look at it as work-life harmony. That there is, because within a harmony, there's more than one, right? You can't have a harmony with one person or one instrument.
If only.
If only. And then and then there are times when the string have to play stronger. And there are times when the bass. And there are times when even within the strings, they are playing harmonies. So they're not on the same level, but they're working together to create music. So what if you thought about your work life as a harmony, and that in reality, the piece isn't complete unless both have a role. But sometimes those roles change. What's your thought on that?
I think I can probably consider that, but that'll take some rewiring, because I am a very much work first person, have been all my life. Why is that? Who says you work first, plays second always?
I believe that's probably John.
Okay, is he saying that as a model, or is he saying me specifically? That's my question, because I would say I'm always that way.
Okay, which I think the challenge sometimes is, I believe, just because I know a little bit about John, he's very comfortable with that.
Yes.
I'm getting a feeling now that you're not as comfortable with it.
I am not. I'm trying very hard, and you've probably seen it, to build walls between the two, and being very strategic on the weekends about not working.
Okay.
Just because I need the time to re-energize. You know, one thing about me is I'm all in. When I'm working, I'm not 50%. I'm at like 125%. So that's where.
So hold on a second. There is no such thing as 125%.
Feels like it.
Okay. Didn't you tell me earlier this week that you were feeling really productive?
Yes.
Because you were working for 20 minutes and then stopping for 20 minutes?
Yes.
Or stopping for 5 minutes?
25 minutes and then 5. Yes.
Have you been doing that all week?
I have not. No. I would love someone to tell me this is being useful, because I feel like this is really not useful to anyone, not even me. Although John did clarify, he teaches his kids work first, play second, always.
Well, I think that
and he has 2 lovely kids, by the way. I've met them, and his daughter, I will share this. She was kind enough to let me use her easel one day, much against her will.
Well, I think that's the thing, is that I think that John is comfortable with that. He said it. You may not be comfortable with it. And so and I think that's the thing, is we're all different, is we all can't come at this with the same approach. And if you're struggling in one area, sometimes I think you have to go back and think about, well, why am I struggling? What is the reason that something is misaligned?
So what you're suggesting is my ability to get my goals. I'm just trying to bring it back to our point. So it makes, I'm really working to tie it into a bow. So if you can help me, go for it.
I'll work on that.
I'm also happy to get off the hot seat, frankly.
Imagine. My
goals are not in line with other aspects of my life. And that's why I'm my word, not yours, struggling. Is that what you're saying? Just to put a summary on this.
Well, I also think that you were given a range of 3 to 5 and you chose 5. Even though potentially if you had only accomplished 3, could you be comfortable with that? Could you celebrate that? Or
Yeah,
is that not good enough?
no, that's a great comment. It's okay to be different or change priorities. You just can't bitch about being broke.
That is, you made a contract with yourself that's okay.
Yes.
That money is not the driving factor. It's important, but it's
Right.
not, what is, and I think that's the thing as we go along, and is sometimes we set these goals and we have these priorities that are unachievable. I might have, if I had really been on my game, I might have come to you and say, there's only 5 days in the week and you're going to accomplish 5 significant goals throughout the week. Is
right.
that, if you're talking about SMART goals, is that realistic?
Right. That makes sense. So someone says, I don't know who, I can't see who, but says, I think this is helping people. So that's good. I hope so. So Tom, I'm going to stop it here, not because I don't want my therapy session to go all day, but because I feel like I'm completely unclothed in every way. And I wore a t-shirt today, which already made me feel awkward. And I keep looking at me in the t-shirt and driving myself crazy. But here's where this.
Does anybody care that John's wearing a t-shirt? Bob's wearing a t-shirt? No.
Okay. So let's wrap it in a neat little bow. We've given an example right here of how the accountability and the goal setting work hand in hand to help achieve things. If someone says keep going, I can only imagine who. But where this pays off, this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, we're doing our summer success soiree, where we're going to have a party around the idea of building real goals. Goals, you'll have 2 choices. You can set some intermediate range goals, or you can set some goals for a longer period of time. And we're going to go through that exercise. We're going to share those goals with each other. And we're going to really try to help people who are trying to do big things figure out what may be missing. Because one of the things Tom and I find, and frankly, I found this week when I set these goals, was like, wow, I have a roadmap. I haven't had that roadmap really clear. I've had 80 things. If you saw my whiteboard, there are 80 things I have to do. And there are 81 tomorrow, probably. Yeah, but there aren't very many being crossed out.
Right, which is the problem, the challenge.
Yes. So I think that's going to be a real great opportunity. So if you can get free from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. this evening, Eastern time, on Thursday, June 11th, we are going to go through goal setting in a really powerful way. This is going to be unlike anything you've ever seen. It's going to be fun, I promise. And it's going to also be educational, inspirational, and it's going to help you achieve your goals. Yeah, I'm setting a big standard here. I put myself out there, and I'm going to give back. Real quick, Tom, before we leave, and by the way, your today's antidote for today, the things someone can do, it's going to be come to our goal setting party tonight at 8 p.m., our summer success soiree. If for no other reason than how to spell soiree and hear us say it a couple times, because that's a great word. That's going to be your antidote. I'm prescribing that, and it's going to be mine. And then real quick, if you haven't done it yet, join our Ring of Renegades, because we are gathering people who are focused on achieving bigger things and learning how to do that. And then if you really want to take it to the next level, join our Renegade Wayfinders group, where we have people who are finding their way to doing it their own way, to achieving their own success. Big, big, big things. Someone in the group today is launching something. Can't wait to see that. Can't wait to help with that however we can. Other people in the group, another person in the group is like changing the paradigm of sports in communities. I mean, these are not slouches, Tom. This is like real game time stuff. Excuse the pun. And that to me is what makes it really exciting. That these people are gathering in this second group, the Renegade Wayfinders, and really making a strong commitment to themselves and to each other, that they are going to be the real leaders, the people who are making it happen. I talked to 2 people yesterday who said, oh, nothing can happen until everything gets back to normal. These people in both groups disagree with that. That just isn't the way we roll anymore. Thus, we are renegades. And with that, Tom, let's close the book because I can't wait for this to end.
So here's the beauty of being the person in control. You may think we're ready to end. I want to wrap this up because I don't want to leave it. All right, we can do that. I think that the thing is, first, you should feel good about the fact that you got uncomfortable and were actually comfortable enough to not only be uncomfortable, but to be uncomfortable in front of all the millions of people who will watch this video. And I think
it's going to go far and wide, won't it?
That is the thing about, in some regards, with self-doubt, is, that topic we've been on, is that at some point we have to be comfortable understanding and identifying when we have self-doubt. And then how do we move forward through it? Because we're going to be in it. And I think the only way to get out of self-doubt is you need someone to help you move through it and to almost make you say, well, why am I really questioning this? Why am I not being comfortable with where I am and what I've decided that I want to do and move forward? And I think that's the piece that to me ties it up a little bit, is that you were willing to let somebody else come in and have a conversation with you about your uncomfortableness. And I think so many times we get uncomfortable and we hide from it. We don't want to be in that zone. And so we back away. And when in reality, I think the more comfortable we get being uncomfortable, the less self-doubt we'll have and the more progress that we'll make. And so I think that's one, thank you for doing that and for allowing us to go through that today. And for allowing me, and I think this is always the piece of the accountability partner, is to come back and congratulate you on doing that and figuring out, okay, you've done something that's not easy. How are you going to celebrate that? How are you going to celebrate
ending this?
Maybe we can do that. I guess I won't put it through too much more pain, but I do think that there is.
I might go buy a donut today. I don't eat very many donuts, and I might walk down the street and grab a donut.
And what about if you went back to your work for 25 minutes, take 5 minutes off?
I think that's probably the way to go for today. I completely forgot about it. You know me, shiny objects, bots, those things, and one then another. I want to read some comments real quick. I think this was one of the best episodes. Honestly, it shows real struggles. People will relate to this. I hope so. Second, uncomfortable is where the growth is. And third, success is not in the comfort zone. Well, if that's the case, I'm having some real success for the last 23 minutes and 23 seconds.
Did you make progress? Did you find anything that was helpful?
I think one of the things I realized in this, honestly, 2 things, actually. I have a new respect for Kelly Ripa, who makes her life incredibly public on TV every morning. Not that I watch. That's one thing.
All right.
And the second thing is I recognize how committed I am to the success of this endeavor in a way I did not realize until about 15 minutes ago.
So here's what I would also offer on that. The bass player of the orchestra,
yes,
who's in the background, maybe just strumming along, maybe doesn't play that much.
Do bass players strum?
Sometimes they do. It depends.
Oh, I thought they pick.
Well, maybe they're playing a bass guitar. Anyhow, okay. Doesn't matter. They are as committed to the success of that piece as they are if they were the lead. So you can be unbelievably committed to something, and especially when you have partners, don't always have to be the lead. Ooh. And that, everyone, I hope that you go out and have a great day and find comfort in the uncomfortable. And we will be back here, I hope, Bob.
I was going to say, we're talking about.
Oops. But anyhow, I hope you have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.